Hello and welcome to Frank's School. I'm trying to teach you to love German. This is my second shot at it. Loving German too. This is the 139th day of the third year. And as said before, I'm about to travel to Germany and I want to brush up on my German grammar. Now if you don't want to learn the grammar, you just want to learn some German. Well, there's a video. I'll give these links, I guess, yeah. First year, 171.3. That's where I introduce German, where you can actually understand some, you can speak some. You won't understand the grammar, but it's okay. And here's where I begin much more about German, loving German. Loving German, not the grammar, but German, and that goes on for quite a ways. The second year, 122nd day, first video. So you go there. Those are the beginnings of playlists, and it would keep you studying German half a year, I imagine. It could easily be that. But now I'm going into the grammar. And I'm working on the word the. I'm really only working on one word so far in German, the. As I said, the most common word in the English language, and I think the most difficult word in German. And this all looks so difficult. Well, yesterday I gave a silly little sentence. Yesterday, der Mann schicht dem Mann des Königs. Well, I forgot the word zu. My German friends are helping me, and you know, Shirley alerted me. Oh no, you've got to have the word zu there. Cats fighting. Well, I didn't realize that because now I put it in here this time. I'm sure she's right. There's no doubt about that. But I didn't realize that. I thought you could get away without putting it in there because of the word the. But I guess not quite. In Latin, you could. You wouldn't. Well, in Latin there is no word the. Imagine that. The Latin is the other language whose grammar is even more difficult, I would say, than German. And there is no word the at all. Everything is done by the way the words end in Latin or so much. Well, that's another matter. Anyway, here are the four forms of the word the that I gave you yesterday. Der, des, dem, den. Der, when it's the subject of a sentence, that's called the nominative case, sometimes also called subjective. I'm going to use these terms. Des, if they're showing ownership, des Königs, of the king. Possessive case, I'm going to call it genitive. This may be an I. No, I think that's right. Dem, when it's sort of like an indirect object, this is a little hard to explain. That's called the dative case. Dem Mann, to the man, that's where I needed the word zu, to. And then when it's the direct object of something, it's the objective case. These terms are also used when you're speaking strictly English grammar. But in Latin, these are the terms that are used, and in German, when you're talking about German, I prefer to use them. So let's see if I can make this look a little simpler. Alright, so I said that there's 6 ways to say the, but there's 24 slots. Well, here are 4 slots, and each time you say it a different way. Well, those words were masculine. I only had 2 words. They're Mann und König. And they're masculine. Now I've taken this sentence and I've put 2 feminine words in. And it's obvious that they're going to be feminine. This is queen. I didn't translate this. Well, I didn't want to clutter up the board. But this means woman and this means queen. Die Frau schickt die Frau zu der Frau der Königin. The woman sends the woman to the woman of the queen. See, König, but when you put in on the end, there are certain words that you can do that in German, and that makes them feminine. Sort of like taking the word waiter and making it waitress, or actor and actress. Königin. Okay, now, die Frau, here's the subject. She's the one who is doing it. So this is the nominative case. But you see, now it's die. And why? Well, it's because the noun is a feminine noun. Die Frau schickt die Frau she's sending the woman, and so the action is being done to this woman, and here the word is die. Now notice that in the masculine it changes. In the feminine it's the same. And another thing I should say too, that I notice modern day accusative tense. Oh, I wanted to say that this is a declension. I'm building up a declension to try to help you understand this. And a declension is a paradigm. It's a way of organizing information to try to make it easier to understand, spreading it out. Here is a paradigm called a declension. Now, once again, as a way of just trying to make this look not so complicated, let me get rid of that. So in this declension, I've got case coming this way, and I've got gender. That's called gender, masculine, feminine, and neuter, going this way. And that spreads out those four. Well, now we've got two. Die Frau schickt die Frau zu der Frau. Well, zu, this is the dative. And I put the word zu in there, which I had forgotten. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure I'm making some mistakes here too. Zu der Frau. Now it's der Frau. Well, you know, you might say, wait a minute, that's already got a job. Yeah, I know. I said it was hard. There's 6 ways to say the, and there's 24 slots. Of the queen, der Königin. Of, now this is possession, genitive, so der. Well, you know, it's simpler. The feminine is simpler. There's only really 2 ways to say the, but there are still 4 positions. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to say the, but we're covering 8 positions. All right, now if I take that sentence and I make it neuter, now I've got the miss, the young lady. Well, I hope this is right. For some reason I'm going blank. I don't know if that E. You see, in German, that's the way they want to do it. Fräulein. That's called an umlaut. The same thing would happen here. Mädchen. Mädchen. But since an umlaut isn't readily available for a lot of keyboards, modern spelling has changed that, and I get mixed up here. Where you put that E? I think you put it here. It sounds different. This is Frau, and this is Frau, Fräulein. And the line at the end, that is called a diminutive. I taught about that. Oh, another place I should say linguistics. If you really want to take this seriously, and you really want to learn this stuff, you should go back to the playlist. I'll give you that link as well in the description, where the playlist about linguistics starts. Well, in linguistics, I explained about diminutives. And all words in German, every time you've got that diminutive or this diminutive put on a word, that's going to make the word neuter. And you know, you'd look at that and say, wait a minute, how can a miss, this means young lady or unmarried woman, how can an unmarried woman be not feminine? Well, you see, masculine, feminine, neuter is not about biology, really. I mean, it's a fascinating subject. I don't know if I'll ever understand gender, but it's about the words. So the young lady may be very feminine indeed, but the word Fräulein is a masculine word because of the diminutive at the end. All right, the miss, I'll say, the miss sends the maiden, das Mädchen. Well, once again, how can a maiden be not feminine? Well, a maiden is feminine, female. See, that's one of the things I explained. This does not mean male. This does not mean female. And this does not mean sexless. No, these are linguistic terms, and yet they are somehow related. Well, a maid is feminine, sure, but a maiden, think of a maiden in English. Das Mädchen, that's a neuter word. We would say it for that. We would say it. Well, I shouldn't mix them. To the child, kind. Well, kind is also a neuter word. Of the beast. Now, I was going to make it, I was talking to Shirley and she said, of wisdom. Oh, wow, I like that. But the thing about that is there's the word von, which means of in German, and I'm just trying to show the word the and what it does without the word of. And by ending it like that, it's of the beast. Now, once again, my German friends will correct me. Part of me wants to put an S there, but I don't think it goes there. I'm not sure. They'll let me know, I'm sure. All right, so in this sentence, which is now neuter, the subject, das Fräulein, this is das. We've got a new way to say the. Now we've got all 6 of them. Das Fräulein, schickt das Mädchen. Well, here's the Mädchen is the one who was sent. The action is done to her, so das zu dem Kind, to the, there's dem, and that's the same, if it helps any, as the masculine, and das Biest, of the beast, and that's the same. So you see, in the neuter, there's the only one that changes. It's so complicated. But I really do love it. I'm going to try to teach you to love German. If you can understand it, and then, well, I'll show you how you don't need to understand it to speak German and understand German. But it's fun to understand it. To make up your own German and make it good German, you do have to understand this. Well, there we've got 4 times 3. We've got 12 slots. And we've only got 6 ways to say the. I said 24 slots. Well, that's because this is singular. When you go over to plural, if we are talking about women or ladies or men or kings or queens, plural, that's a whole other situation. But don't worry, it's way easier. Well, I don't know, I may be just completely scaring you away. All I've been working on is the word the in German. But remember, I told you that I think it's the hardest word to get control of in German. I hope to see you tomorrow.